Ilara smiled then, a smile that never reached her eyes. "We've been very careful since joining the galactic community, Marshal. Careful not to alarm you. Careful to appear non-threatening. We've hidden our true capabilities because we genuinely hoped for peaceful cooperation." She stepped forward, her voice dropping so that the council members had to lean in to hear her next words. "In 24 hours, you'll understand that wasn't weakness. We were just being polite." The Calrexian homeworld hung like a jewel in space, its 3 moons orbiting in perfect harmony. On the bridge of the Imperial Dreadnought Unyielding Talon, Grand Marshal Vexorn received the report that the human deadline had passed. "As expected, they've done nothing," his second-in-command reported. "Our fleet remains unchallenged in the new Terra system." Vexorn nodded. These newcomers must learn their place in the hierarchy. "Prepare a broadcast, though." Alarms blared across the bridge. The tactical officer's scales paled to a sickly yellow. "Marshal, multiple vessels decloaking around our defense perimeter." "Impossible," Vexorn snarled, striding to the tactical display. "No species possesses cloaking technology that can bypass our detection grid." The display showed dozens, then hundreds of vessels appearing where empty space had been moments before. They were sleek, black shapes, unlike the boxy, utilitarian design of known human ships. More alarmingly, they were positioning themselves with precision that spoke of extensive tactical knowledge of Calrexian defensive formations. "We're receiving reports from across the Empire," the communications officer reported, voice rising in panic. "Human vessels appearing everywhere, near colonies, outposts, even the homeworld defense grid." "Open fire," Vexorn ordered. "All batteries." The massive weapons of the Calrexian flagship charged and fired, directly into defensive shields that absorbed the energy without visible strain. A communication request flashed on the main screen. Vexorn hesitated, then nodded curtly. Admiral Marcus Reeves of the Terran Confederation appeared on screen. His uniform was simple, black with minimal insignia, but his bearing was unmistakably military. "Grand Marshal Vexorn," he said, his tone conversational, almost friendly. "I believe Ambassador Chen delivered our terms. Your 24 hours have expired. How did you bypass our defenses?" Vexorn demanded. "Where did these ships come from?" "They've been here all along," Reeves replied. "Those cultural exchange vessels, research ships, diplomatic couriers, all capable of transformation into battle mode when needed. As for your detection grid, we mapped its vulnerabilities months ago." On the tactical display, Vexorn watched in horror as more human vessels appeared throughout Calrexian space. A junior officer approached with a data tablet, hands trembling. "Marshal, we're detecting some kind of devices attached to our ships, our stations, even defense platforms planetside. They appear to have been there for months, possibly longer. What I'm about to demonstrate is called a measured response." Admiral Reeves continued. "We could destroy your fleet entirely, but that's not our goal." A series of precise energy beams lanced out from the human vessels, surgically striking weapon systems on Calrexian ships. Throughout the system, the pattern repeated, precise, controlled strikes disabling rather than destroying. "What do you want?" Vexorn asked, his voice hollow as he watched his mighty fleet rendered helpless in minutes. "What we've always wanted," Reeves answered. "Respect and cooperation. Ambassador Chen will contact you in 1 hour with revised terms. I suggest you listen carefully this time." As the transmission ended, Vexorn stared at the tactical display showing his crippled fleet. "All this time," he whispered, "they were watching, learning, preparing." His second-in-command looked at him with newfound understanding. "They weren't weak." "No," Vexorn agreed. "They were just being polite." The Polite Revolution. The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Dominion had never been so quiet. Representatives from 37 species sat in stunned silence as they watched the footage of the Calrexian Imperial fleet, the most powerful military force in the known galaxy. disabled with surgical precision by human vessels that seemingly appeared from nowhere. High Counselor Genva of the Araxians broke the silence, her translucent tentacles rippling with agitation. This changes everything. The humans have concealed their true technological capabilities from the moment of first contact. Deception, bellowed the Morrican delegate, pounding his armored fist on the council table. This violation of trust proves humans cannot be trusted. Ambassador Ilara Chen stood calmly at the center of the chamber, the same serene expression on her face that had been mistaken for submissiveness for 2 years. The silent ascension. The observation lounge aboard the Terran diplomatic vessel Olive Branch offered a breathtaking view of Nexus Station, the gleaming hub of the Galactic Dominion. Ambassador Ilara Chen stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching as vessels from dozens of species docked and departed in a carefully choreographed dance of interstellar commerce and politics. "Quite the sight, isn't it?" remarked Commander Ishan Kapoor, joining her at the viewport. 2 years since first contact, and it still takes my breath away." Ilara nodded, her expression revealing nothing. Beautiful indeed. And yet, beneath all that glitter, the same old story plays out. The Security Council meeting. Ishan asked. Another rejection of our petition to establish a research outpost in the Cygnus Arm. The 6th one this cycle. Ilara's voice remained perfectly steady, her diplomatic training evident in every syllable. Grand Marshal Vexorn claimed the region is too strategically sensitive for a species as, what was the phrase, technologically adolescent as ours. Ishan's jaw tightened. They continue to underestimate us. "Let them," Ilara replied, the ghost of a smile touching her lips. Protocol Polaris remains in effect. We smile, we bow, we accept their condescension. And meanwhile, Phase 3 deployment is complete. The nanosatellites are in position throughout Dominion space. Admiral Reeves confirms the 7th Fleet is on standby in the shadow of Jupiter's magnetic field. The ship's intercom chimes softly. "Ambassador, we're receiving an emergency transmission from New Terra Colony." Ilara's expression didn't change, but her eyes hardened. "Put it through to my private terminal." In her quarters, Ilara watched the shaky footage with growing stillness, the kind of stillness that experienced military personnel recognized as dangerous. Governor Abara of New Terra Colony stood amid ruins, his uniform scorched and face streaked with ash. Dominion warships appeared without warning. He reported, voice steady despite the chaos behind him. 3 cruisers from the Calraxian Imperial Guard. They claimed our terraforming equipment violated some regulation about atmospheric modification that we've never heard of. When we tried to explain, they opened fire. 76 civilians dead. Ambassador. Children among them. Ilara's finger hovered over the communications panel for a long moment after the transmission ended. Then she pressed a single button. "Command, this is Ambassador Chen. Authorization code Omega 73 Delta 9. Initiate Polaris Protocol. Final phase. Confirmed, Ambassador. May I ask what prompted this escalation? The Dominion just mistook our restraint for weakness. It's time they learned the difference." 12 hours later, Ilara Chen stood before the Dominion Security Council, 36 representatives from the most powerful species in the galaxy looking down at her from tiered seating. Grand Marshal Vexorn of the Calraxians, 8 feet of armored reptilian authority, regarded her with thinly veiled contempt. "The human delegation has been granted an emergency audience," announced the council moderator, a willowy Threllan with silver skin. "Though I must note this is highly irregular." "Thank you, moderator," Ilara said, her voice calm and measured. "I'll be brief. Approximately 14 hours ago, Calraxian warships attacked a human settlement on New Terra, killing 76 civilians, including 23 children. Grand Marshal Vexorn's scaled face remained impassive. The colony was in violation of Dominion atmospheric regulation statutes. They were given a warning which they ignored. "No such warning was received," Ilara countered. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to inform the Dominion that as of this moment, the Terran Confederation is exercising its right to self-defense under Article 17 of the Galactic Charter. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Calraxian marshal barked a laugh, the translator rendering it as a harsh electronic sound. Self-defense. Your species barely has interplanetary capability. Your ships are clumsy, your weapons primitive. What exactly do you think you can defend against? Ilara remained perfectly still. The Terran Confederation hereby gives the Calraxian Imperial Guard 24 hours to withdraw all forces from human space, surrender those responsible for the attack on New Terra, and provide full reparations for the lives lost. The chamber erupted in laughter. Vexorn's massive frame shook with amusement, his tail thumping against his ceremonial chair. Or what, human? You'll throw rocks at us. Deception, she echoed. Interesting choice of words, considering the Dominion's treatment of Earth since our arrival. She activated a holographic display showing footage of various encounters between human representatives and Dominion officials. We came in peace, offering friendship. She continued as the footage played, showing humans being dismissed, insulted, their territories encroached upon. We were transparent about our desire for mutual cooperation. In return, you restricted our movements, denied us access to common resources, and treated us as primitives barely worth noticing. She changed the display to show the smoking ruins of New Terra Colony, and when you thought us too weak to defend ourselves, you killed our people. In the Dominion's Defense Command Center, Admiral Marcus Reeves stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching as his officers coordinated the complex operation across Dominion space. Strategic displays showed human vessels positioned near every major Dominion world, outpost, and trade route. Status report, he requested quietly. Commander Lakshmi Patil approached with a data tablet. Operation Revelation proceeding according to plan. Admiral, the nanoprobes have successfully integrated with Dominion defense systems. We have functional control over 94% of their military infrastructure. And the civilian sectors, untouched, as per your orders. Power, life support, medical systems, all operating normally. Reeves nodded, satisfied. And the council meeting. Ambassador Chen is addressing them now. The broadcast is reaching every corner of Dominion space. Back in the council chamber, Ilara was addressing the growing concerns. You're wondering if this is a prelude to conquest, she said, reading the fear in many of the delegates' expressions. It isn't. Humanity has no desire to rule the Dominion or any other species. Why should we believe you? Asked the Threllan moderator. You've hidden your true strength all this time. We hid our strength precisely because we wanted peace, Ilara explained. Earth's history taught us a harsh lesson. Strength openly displayed is often perceived as a threat and met with preemptive aggression. So we smiled, we bowed, we accepted your condescension, while hoping you would eventually recognize us as equals. She gestured to the holographic display now showing human vessels across Dominion space. But we also prepared for the possibility that you wouldn't. In a private chamber adjacent to the council hall, Grand Marshal Vexorn met with a small human delegation led by Admiral Reeves. The Calraxians' posture, once domineering, was now cautious, measuring. Your species has achieved what no other in Dominion history has managed, Vexorn acknowledged. You've brought the Calraxian Empire to heel without destroying it. The question remains, what do you intend to do with this power? Admiral Reeves placed a data crystal on the table between them. These are our terms, not demands for surrender, but a proposal for reformation. The hierarchical structure of the Dominion has fostered exploitation and conflict. We propose a new framework based on mutual respect and genuine cooperation. Vexorn's scaled brow ridged in surprise as he reviewed the contents. You're not demanding reparations, territory, resources. We want partners, not subjects, Reeves replied. Though those responsible for New Terra will face justice. The Calraxians studied Reeves with new understanding. You could have destroyed us completely. We could have, Reeves agreed, but that's not who we choose to be. Days later, Ilara stood on the observation deck of the Olive Branch, watching as representatives from across the Dominion arrived for the signing of the new Galactic Charter. Beside her, Commander Aishan Kapoor reviewed the final security protocols. "It's quite the turnout," he observed. "Every major species has sent delegates. Nothing motivates diplomatic participation like a paradigm shift," Ilara replied with a small smile. A tall, avian figure approached them. Professor Kirtal of the Zentari, one of the oldest species in the Dominion. Ambassador Chen, the professor greeted her, feathered crest rising in a sign of respect. "I've been studying your species since your arrival. I suspected there was more to humans than you revealed, though even I underestimated the extent." "Few saw what was before them," Ilara acknowledged. "You were among the more perceptive." "There's one question that continues to puzzle me," Kirtal said, head tilting in curiosity. "Your technology, the nanoprobes, the adaptive ships, the cloaking systems that bypassed our most sophisticated detection grids. How did you develop these in isolation, without access to Dominion science?" Ilara exchanged a glance with Ishan before answering. "We didn't develop them in isolation, Professor. We had been observing the galaxy long before official first contact." The Zentari's eyes widened. "Impossible. Our monitoring systems would have detected your presence." "Not if we didn't want to be detected," Ishan said softly. "Humanity has always excelled at listening and learning before making ourselves known." In the grand ceremonial hall, representatives gathered around a circular table, a deliberate departure from the hierarchical seating of the old council. Admiral Reeves stood with the military leaders of various species, including the subdued but attentive Grand Marshal Vexorn. "Your battle tactics were impressive," the Kilraxian admitted. "The precision of your strikes, disabling our ships without destroying them. Even our best commanders couldn't have executed such an operation." "We've had practice," Reeves replied. "Earth's history is filled with conflicts that taught us the cost of unnecessary destruction. And those devices, your nanoprobes, they were present throughout our systems for months." Reeves nodded. "Phase 3 deployment began 6 months ago. Small, adaptive machines designed to integrate with your technology without detection." "And now?" Vexorn asked. "Being removed as we speak," Reeves assured him. "Trust must begin somewhere." As the signing ceremony commenced, Ilara took her place at the table alongside the most powerful figures in the galaxy. The new charter glowed on the surface before each representative, a document emphasizing equality, cooperation, and mutual defense. "This marks a new beginning," the Threllim moderator announced. "The formation of the Galactic Alliance, replacing the hierarchical structure of the Dominion with a union of equals." One by one, representatives placed their hands or appendages on the document, signifying their acceptance. When Ilara's turn came, she paused momentarily. "Humanity joins this alliance with hope for the future," she said, her voice carrying throughout the hall. "We bring with us not just our technology and our strength, but our deepest wish for a galaxy where no species need hide their capabilities out of fear, and none mistake restraint for weakness." Later, as celebrations continued throughout the station, Ilara and Admiral Reeves stood in a quiet corridor, watching the stars through a viewport. "Do you think it will last?" Ilara asked. Reeves considered the question. "The Alliance? It has a better chance than the Dominion did. Fear and domination are poor foundations for lasting peace. And if it doesn't, then we'll still be here," Reeves replied calmly. "Still watching, still learning, and yes, still prepared." A Kilraxian aide approached, bowing respectfully. "Ambassador Chen, Admiral Reeves, your presence is requested for the formal toast." As they walked toward the main hall, the aide hesitated. "If I may ask, humans could have conquered the galaxy. Why choose cooperation instead?" Ilara smiled, a genuine smile this time, not the diplomatic mask she had worn for 2 years. "Because true strength isn't about domination. she answered. It's about knowing when to hold back. Earth learned that lesson through thousands of years of our own conflicts. We prepare for war precisely because we value peace, Reeves added. And we hide our strength not out of fear, but out of hope that we'll never need to use it. The Great Hall was filled with representatives of dozens of species, former enemies now cautiously embracing a new vision of galactic cooperation. As Ilara raised her glass in the universal gesture of goodwill, she caught the eye of Professor Kirtal across the room. The Zentari scholar inclined his head slightly, a gesture of newfound respect. Ilara returned the gesture, thinking of Earth's long journey to this moment. A planet of warriors who had learned to value peace, a species of individuals who had learned the power of unity, and a civilization that had finally found its place among the stars. Not as conquerors, but as equals, not through dominance, but through the strength of restraint. The galaxy had mistaken humanity's politeness for weakness, a mistake they would not make again.